So this is the first vlog on my new gaming channel, and well, it's an old channel, but you know what I'm saying. My first gaming vlog, and I wanted to talk about Onlive. If you don't know what Onlive is, it is a streaming service that allows you to play video games over an internet connection without actually having to download a video game or have a proper physical copy of it. So what you do is you sign up, you log on, you click on the game you want to play, and the idea is that the game will then come up running on a remote computer that maybe has hardware that your computer doesn't have, and then you can sort of stream the video from that computer, and but you're interacting with the game, if you know what I mean. So you're sort of streaming the game to you, and then you're putting the commands back to the remote computer and controlling the game. All right, so that's the idea. Probably a much better way of putting it. So one of my favorite YouTubers, Longboys Post 1975, he did a video on this recently. Check out his channel. Leave a link down below. And he talked about the sort of negatives of of this idea, and which I'm not really going to focus on at the moment. But he talked about how first of all, you don't have a physical copy of the game, so if the OnLive service dies, then you don't have the game anymore. And plus, it's just nice to own a physical copy of the game with the nice artwork and the manuals and all that sort of stuff. And it's nice to have that, just like collecting anything. It's a nice thing to have. Um, it's also I think the idea of there being like lag and stuff like that, might be problematic. But anyway, he talks a lot about the sort of negative aspects of it in terms of it wasn't like denigrating or anything like that. Far from it. He was just saying, you know, that it's not really for him. He likes the way gaming is sort of now or in the past. So I have been watching on live for some time, and I was really excited to try it out. It was only available in America for a while. It was announced years ago. I've been like keeping my ear to the ground on it, and it's very rare that a piece of technology actually blows me away. And this is one of those things that just I was like, wow, I can't believe how good this is. They brought it to the UK now, so I set up an account. So I basically download an install file. It runs like a client on your Windows desktop. Um, Picked a game because you can get like 30-minute free trials of games. Picked a game, clicked on it, started playing Batman Arkham Asylum. Now, my computers are really quite old, so I just don't have the ability to play these games at all. It ran flawlessly. I was like totally amazed by it. Um, there are some compression artifacts, especially in the blacks, because you are essentially watching a video on your computer. But so it's not quite as good as watching on your nice big 1080p screen or watching it just playing directly on your computer monitor. But it's still very very sharp. And if you're like me and your computer's got no way of actually running these things, then it's a fantastic service. I was totally and utterly blown away by it. And at the moment, they've got this deal where you can buy games for like £1, and you've got like their subscription charge is £6.99, and you don't need to like get the subscription charge to try it out. So I'm going to buy a couple of games, and if I really really like it, I might pay for the £6.99 a month. Because that's like less than £100 over the year, and you get access to hundreds of games. It's you can't really argue with that. Yeah, you don't get the physical copy of the game. I understand that, but one of the things that like Longboy was saying was that it's probably not going to be like the entire future of gaming, and I agree with that. It's not going to be for everybody, but I think we're in for a real shock. I think this is going to revolutionise gaming. I think it's not just going to revolutionise gaming. I think it's going to revolutionise the way applications are ran on computers. I think you're going to be able to run a lot of high end stuff that you were never able to run before. Online video editing, things like that. I know there's a little bit of that going on at the moment already, but this could really kick that into touch, and you could really get, you know, to use like some fantastically powered applications on your computer. Um, I'm that impressed with how it ran that I think it will become a big part. I don't think that like Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, the three big ones at the moment, unless Apple enters into the computer console war, which there's always rumors that they will. Uh, will they use it in their next consoles? Well, it's not really a case of hardware because all three of those consoles, even the Wii, which is SD, standard definition, can stream video. So the consoles are already capable of using this technology. So I think, um, I wouldn't be surprised with Microsoft's excellent Xbox Live service, and you've got PlayStation with all the back catalogue of like the PlayStation 1 and PS2 games on their PlayStation Network. I wouldn't be surprised if they start allowing you to just stream the game rather than having to download it. Um, so I think the next generation that's going to come out, they might not announce it right away, but I think as Onlive and maybe other services are released, I think that they'll maybe buy into this a little bit and say, well, yeah, well, this is quite a good idea, you know. And the thing is as well, you could do things like charge people for the amount of time that they use a computer game for, and that's, it might not sound ideal for everyone, and it won't be, but if it was really cheap, you know, I mean, you might, because I think computer games are far too expensive at the moment compared to the amount of time that you actually get out of most of them. So for some games, you can complete them in like 6, 7 hours, and if they charge you like £1 an hour, you know that's you done. You've only paid £6 or £7. You don't get a physical copy of the game that you've played it, you've completed it, and that's it done. So I think there's so many things they could do with this. At the moment, it is just a case of you buy the game and you can on live and you can just play it right away. So impressed. There is a little bit of lag. So here's the thing with it. It's only going to work for um, like single player games. It's brilliant. I keep missing my thumb every time I do that. No depth perception. It's going to be great for single player games. Totally fine. There's a tiny little bit of lag. We're talking about, you know, I don't know, a third of a second or something like that. And for co-op games as well, going to be totally fine. It's when you get into high-end competitive matches, unless the other person is using the same system as you, the same service, then it's going to be difficult. Um, I think I just nearly choked to death there. Still recovering from a cold. Sorry. Uh, I think that uh, yeah. So single player will work, co-op will work. High end competitive matches, not so much, unless everybody's using the on live service. And yeah, just totally blown away by it. I mean, if they ever manage to get the lag down further, then it would work for high end competitive matches. If you like just a little bit of deathmatch, a little bit of or team games, casually, then it'll work for you. But like, if you really want to play, if you want to be your best, you really need to get your connection as good as possible. And if you've got the added lag from on live, that's not going to help too much. But apart from that, amazing service. Only time will tell if this is financially viable. I'm suspecting that it is, otherwise it wouldn't have been brought over to the UK. I think the American system was like a sort of dry run of it, and it was so successful that it's working over here. So the only thing with it is that they do have, like, they've got games like Deus Ex 2. They've got Borderlands, Batman, Arkham Asylum, the Assassin's Creed games. They've got a lot of great games there, but they're still lacking. Obviously some people haven't. Some game companies don't really want to jump onto it yet, but I think they will, and I think eventually loads of people are going to be using this. I mean, you could use this on an old laptop as long as you've got a decent uh, internet connection, and as long as you've got a good, well, not a good, a computer that can stream HD footage. That is all that's required, and That's all I have to say about it. I think it's a really amazing thing. Not going to replace uh, traditional gaming, but I think it's going to take a sizable chunk of it because mind blown.